Good afternoon and welcome to Voices from Our Schools. I'm your host, Kimberly Stender, and joining me today I have two extraordinary women who work with youth in our community in their pursuit of the arts. So I would like to introduce to you Stacy Leonard, the Executive Director of the Youth Action Coalition, and Katie Resavage, who is a board member on the Youth Action Coalition, as well as someone who is truly ingrained in the program. So I want to welcome you both today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. And I guess as we begin each show, I'd like to kind of have our audience have the privilege of getting to know you a little bit, and before we kind of launch into the Youth Action Coalition. So Stacy, can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved in YAC, as it's known throughout Amherst and our community?
Yes. Well, I moved to Amherst in 1995 from New York City. And I had been a high school teacher and a photographer and a waitress and an Outward Bound instructor and assorted other things. And there was a great advertisement for an after-school program coordinator for this organization that used to be called Hampshire Youth 2000 Coalition. Okay. And at the time, it was a youth leadership-focused organization. And I came in and started working with youth in different schools and after-school programs. And with the arts background and the sort of hands-on experiential learning bent that I had in my teaching and facilitating, I introduced the idea for a Girls Eye View program. So we started that in 1997 in the town of Ware, and then in 1999 moved it to Amherst. And then around the same time, the current director of the organization stepped down, and I got to step in. So since '99, I've been in the role of director, which has been a long, interesting, circuitous journey and full of surprises and challenges and amazing successes and fun and inspiration from all the youth and all the great stuff and the people that I work with.
It's a fabulous program, and I know a lot of the artwork that your group has created is all around town and very unexpected places. So we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later on in the show. And then Katie, you are a current high school student at Amherst Regional High School. You're a junior and very much involved in arts and the performing arts there. But it seems like Youth Action Coalition has become your passion.
Yes. So I came to the organization when I was in 7th grade through the Girls Eye View Amherst program. Partially because I liked photography, partially just to hang out with friends. And then when a lot of my friends ended up not being in the group, I stayed and I loved it. And loved the space and the people and doing art. And then I just kind of kept rolling once I got into high school, and I became part of Video Vanguards and joined the board, and just have really been around the organization for what seems like a really long time.
Well, that's great. And we need people like you, young people in our community, who will be mentors for the younger set coming up, because Youth Action Coalition is truly a unique program. But what I was surprised to learn was that it has a social justice message that kind of underlines all of the work that you do. So maybe, Stacy, you could talk a little bit about that and the program itself.
Great. Yeah, in I'd say the last 5 to 10 years, we started to think about our programs under the name of Arts for Change and focus them, while they each have a different medium that they're working with, they all share the sort of common threads, and there's sort of 4 main goals of the program. So one is to really help young people form a solid sense of self and a sense of identity and understand their place in the world and how they relate to others. A second piece is about the in-depth, intensive arts component. Third piece is the social justice piece, and is really about helping young people think about what are the issues going on in their lives and in the world, and how to think about all of that in terms of their art making, the dialogues that they have with each other. And then the fourth piece is sort of tied into that, but it's about community engagement. So they're all sort of interconnected strands that you can't really take one apart from another in the way that we think of it and practice it. And where it culminates is that we have exhibitions and screenings and other public events where youth are getting their voice out to the community through their art, and that their art is infused with this meaning and rich ideas that comes from the dialogue and workshops that they're doing during the week.
That's really impressive. And I know you meet at the high school often, no? Or you
Each
do your
program
murals
meets
there.
somewhere else.
Right.
So actually, Youth Action Coalition has a tiny little postage stamp office in town, and then each program is in a different location. So Video Vanguards meets here at Amherst Media. Girls Eye View meets at the high school.
Okay.
And Get Up, Get Down right now is using the Bang Center and is looking for a more permanent space to do messy work.
Okay. When you say
artwork.
messy work, do you need a big studio space?
Yeah, studio space for painting and paper mache. And
Okay.
they had for 3 years been doing a lot of metal work and had access to a shop at Hampshire College. And you know, that comes in, our ability to use spaces and or utilize spaces is variable depending on the needs of the people who are giving us the space.
Yes.
So we're really fortunate that all of these places that are giving us space give it to us for free, and that makes it doable for us.
Oh, absolutely.
But we do have a dream to have our own downtown or near town space, studio, art, offices, galleries.
Okay, so
youth
maybe
space.
a viewer who's listening or watching right now has that space and would be willing maybe to get in touch with you and hopefully get something in the works, because that would be phenomenal. That would be great. So call them. So Katie, what are some of the main goals of Youth Action Coalition when you work with young adults and when you do these really unique projects, whether they involve photography or studio art, metal work?
So really the main goal that the one that's apparent to everybody and that everybody gets and comes for is learning the art form and learning the medium. And like Video Vanguards, we learn how to use Final Cut and different software, and it's mostly utilizing the tools that you need for the medium and learning that. But then also kind of intertwined with that is a lot of the time the work that you're creating has some kind of message behind it, or some kind of drive of why you're making it. Whether, I don't know, but so like for video, like that's pretty easy to translate in my opinion, in making works that have focuses on things. Like I've done a video on Photoshop and its impact on the medium and media and young people, and some friends made one on like racial profiling, and but and that those lessons kind of go into the other programs as well, and come out in the artwork and that kind of thing. But there's also like small leadership things that you kind of build as the time goes on, leadership skills. And a really big thing, in my opinion, is that we learn is a vocabulary for media literacy, and having that knowledge to look at the world a certain way and participate in conversations with college students, professionals, other high school students, just that really expands your ability to communicate and meet and discuss with other people.
That's excellent. That's phenomenal.
Could I add something to that? Because
Absolutely.
one of the ways that youth get to kind of go out into the world with their skills and ideas is to facilitate workshops that they've gone through, but to do it for other folks. So Video Vanguards, as one example, has presented at many conferences and some of our other programs as well, or representing YAC at like a foundation meeting.
Like we've Video Vanguards has presented at CCT. I'm not exactly sure what it stands for. It's like
Community Coalition for Teens.
Community Coalition for Teens. Their conference, we've presented at the CLIP conference at Hampshire College. We ran an art space there last year and ran a workshop, and it's all like the youth help in creating it and then run the majority of the workshop as well. And
That was the Reproductive Rights Conference at Hampshire, the CLIP conference.
Oh, okay. So are you contacted by these organizations to exhibit and to present, or do you have to kind of chase them?
Both, I'd say.
It's both. It depends. Some, like, we've been in contact with a while and they know us. Like, we might have the opportunity to present a workshop at the Allied Media Conference in Detroit, because we went last year and have started contacts with the people there, and we but like a lot of it is connections with the facilitators or just a long-standing relationship with the Youth Action Coalition, and they know us, and a lot of people come to us and say, can you do a workshop? And
Wow. So it's not just in the Pioneer Valley. I mean, obviously Detroit is kind of far away from here, so that's really an honor and quite prestigious when you think about it. Here are these young adults from our communities who are presenting to audiences nationally. So that's really great. When you talk about video vanguards, who can get involved with that? What type of student are you looking for? Is there a certain age level or someone who has maybe experience with videos, or can anyone join?
Anyone can join. Right now we're 8th through 12th grade.
Okay.
And so anyone in that age range can join, and you don't have to have experience. If you have experience, that's great, like you can come, but also new people who want to learn. Like, I knew nothing whatsoever about video when I first started. And the focus of Video Vanguards is really on youth of color and their allies. So it's a space especially for minority youth. But anywhere, like in the high school range as well as 8th graders.
Okay. And then how about Girls Eye View? Because I know you had mentioned that you joined Girls Eye View in middle school?
Yeah, Girls Eye View is 7th through 9th grade.
Okay.
So that it used to just be the middle school, but we wanted to extend it so that 9th graders can be part of it as well. But it's really focused on younger middle school girls and their experiences in that space.
And I know throughout this clip we're going to be showing still photographs and other images of the Youth Action Coalition in action. So whether they're painting a mural or the beautiful artwork that they produce at the benches at the Jones Library, you know, it's all going to be intertwined in this program. So our viewers will get the opportunity to see and maybe go out and visit firsthand the installations and see what you've created, which is amazing. Now, Get Up, Get Down, that's something that is truly unique to Amherst. Would you speak a little bit about that and who can join and what you do and what the purpose is behind it?
Sure. Get Up, Get Down is really a public art program, and it's aimed to, like all of our Arts for Change programs, to connect the arts and ideas and help young people propel their ideas out to a bigger audience. So to date, that group has produced 3 different murals in two in downtown Amherst, and 1 at the high school.
Yes.
And these are large-scale, 3-dimensional.
Very large.
Yeah, very large and very
mixed
beautiful.
media.
There's one huge one, probably the biggest, on the side of Food for Thought Books.
Yes.
Who's a community partner of ours, as well as one on the side of Amherst Cinema, and then there's one in the main hallway of the high school as well.
Right near the cafeteria and
Yes.
the library, and that's beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely stunning.
And their sort of culminating piece last spring was the bench that you mentioned earlier that's at the Jones Library. And they had this idea that they wanted to make public space more interactive. And instead of having a bench where you just sat in a line of people, they made it in sort of an S-curve.
Yes.
And there's a table in the middle with 2 end tables so that the folks here can kind of connect with the folks here. And they invited the Girls Eye View members to contribute photographs and made a collage for the bench seat. And the bench itself is metal, and it's now a permanent installation at the library.
At the Jones
which is
Library.
Fantastic. We're really grateful to them for hosting it.
Well, that's an amazing building in itself. So it's kind of neat to see the juxtaposition of the old building, the stone and the slate roof, and then this beautiful new bench that you have out there. Was the bench created at Hampshire College in the studio?
Yes.
Yes.
And how long did it take to make?
Good question.
It took them a long
long
time.
the better part of a school year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there's all the brainstorming and thinking, and there's a lot of time that goes into just
Planning.
and then there's the sketching and design phase, and then there's the fabrication phase. And that phase went on for a while too, because then they had to figure out how to seal it and make it, whether the photographs are just glued onto wood, and then they had to seal that with an epoxy that also wouldn't yellow in the sun. And then we realized when we were looking for a site that we didn't really want it to be in direct sun because it would get hot because it's metal. So there were a lot of different considerations at each step of the way, but there it is. We still have a plaque that's coming in the works. So right now it's not identified as what it is. You just have to know.
You have to be in the know.
Be in the know.
I like that. So all these different groups are scattered sort of throughout the Pioneer Valley, and we're very lucky to have a lot of them here in Amherst, all three actually. But you have E-Town, which is based out of East Hampton.
Yep, E-Town Photo Graffiti.
And then they do a lot of kind of cool photography work and kind of avant-garde stuff. I would think that would be the right term.
They really also use digital photography as a means to explore their community and themselves and issues that they're going through. And the past year, we've been working out of the middle school, Whitebrook Middle School, with a 5th to 8th grade population. And we're actually now preparing to move up to the high school in the sort of winter, spring, and sort of launch a revised program for high school youth there.
That's great.
Yeah.
And now, do you ever get the chance to meet the different leaders from the different groups? Do you ever get together as a summit or some type of?
Yeah, actually, like we'll go to each other's shows and shared exhibits, but we also have these Yak Unity events where everybody from the 5 different programs and the staff and all the interns can come. Yak Unity events where we just kind of hang out and share work and do different things, and also 2 of the girls from Girls Eye View are on our board as well. So you don't get to know the people in the other programs as well as you do in your own program, but you definitely know them, and you have this connection of this overall organization. Even if you're mostly focused in your one group, there's still these whole Yak community things.
We also, probably every year now, we have for the last 2 years, put together a retreat that's usually a combination of board members, staff, and youth to kind of set goals and priorities for the organization and work on a strategic plan. So 2 years ago we did an overnight retreat, and last year we did a day-long retreat, and we hope to make that an annual tradition because it's an amazing way for everyone to get involved and beyond just programming, but what do you want to see for this organization? Because it is a youth-centered organization. We want as much input from youth.
Right, like what's the vision going forward and the trajectory and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
You play a big part in that. And
well, I think your board is unique in the fact that it is intergenerational. So there's 50% adults, and then there's 50% students,
Yes.
youth. And I mean, I can only imagine the conversations and the discussions that emerge from that, that dynamic. And I'm sure so many great ideas come out of that from, I'm guessing, the youth.
Hey,
I mean, no, it's amazing. I love the discussions that happen in the board meetings so much because there's so many. The youth can bring things to the table that the adults can, and the adults can bring things to the table that the youth can't. And really, and like you can see that in the programming and in how the organization is run, that there is that youth input, and I think that's missing from a lot of organizations that are youth-centered, and then it's all like old men sitting around a table beside the board. But I don't know. So I think it's really unique, and I've met some really incredible adults that are really inspiring and wonderful people. And I'm just so fortunate to have met them, and also but also like the things that come out of my mouth and out of my peers' mouth. You're just like, oh, wait, a youth said that and is thinking that, and it's really great to know that that's the voices for the organization and making the decisions. And it's not just like, oh, we're gonna have some token youth on the board, like sit around and do. They're like right in there and on the discussion, and
A constant reminder of the work that you're doing and for whom it's for.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and it's not just you would think that the youth are just talking about how the programming should be run, but they're also learning about the financial aspects and doing the full problem solving set that a board of directors does. It's not like the roles of the youth and the adults. It's not like, oh, the adults deal with this and the youth deal with this. It's everybody participating in conversations about what they think and what they think is best for the organization.
It's truly collaborative.
Yes.
Yeah, and here in Amherst, I don't think we have any all-male boards.
No, but I'm sorry, but
No,
yeah.
it's okay, but in other places there are. So we're quite lucky to have this dynamic structure here, that's for certain. When you talk about the community involvement in Youth Action Coalition, not only can our youth be involved, but adults as well. So can you tell me a little bit about how adults in our community can get involved?
Sure. We work a lot with college interns in particular. We have tons of interns who assist with the programs and are mentors to youth, and they come with the skills of the particular medium that the programs are working with. And then, as we talked about our board, we love to have adults on our board, but not too many. And then adults can contact us and like we kind of go in on an individual basis based on the skills that they have and where they best fit in. We don't like to have too many adults in our programs because we want it to feel like a safe space for youth to, and it is their platform. So we have one staff member per program. We have 2 to 4 interns in a program, and then between 8 and 15 youth in a program. So we don't want to make it top heavy with adults. So we don't have a lot of adult opportunities for volunteers in programs, but a lot of behind the scenes work is great. And I would say coming out to our events and supporting the youth, getting an audience at the events means so much. And for people for the youth and us who work in the organization to feel the support of the community is tremendous.
And people can get information on your website, which is www.youthactioncoalition.org. And everything is posted up there. So if you have upcoming art shows or photo exhibits, the public can see and join in on the fun.
Right.
And if you're not that like active at checking websites every day, you can also, I think, like Youth Action Coalition on Facebook, and you get all the updates about the events and can hear about it that way as well.
Okay.
We do have an email list too that you can sign up for on the website.
Okay.
And our website has a blog and a gallery, so a lot of images and videos. Well, we're starting to get more and more put on there, but it's a pretty interactive space.
It is. It's beautiful. I love all the big photos of the mural work, and the black and white photography is gorgeous. So I would highly recommend checking it out. For the students in town who want to get involved, whom would they contact? Would it be you, Stacy, or maybe someone at the high school?
Well, there's many ways, and if folks are already at the high school, they might find it easier to go speak with Lisa Candido in the PRISM After School Program office. She's in the guidance office. You can call us or email us, or I think there's a way on our website to connect with us as well. Any of those ways are possible. You can also contact one of the staff directly, and they're all listed under the programs on the website.
Okay.
And we welcome anyone to join almost any time of the year. Some of the programs are more full and set, and some of them have space. So, for example, if you're interested in making a mural, there's a new mural that Get Up, Get Down is in the process of creating or designing. They're still in the brainstorm design phase, so it's not too late to sign up. It's going to be on the red wall next to the Rayos Cafe in that
Yes.
park that they just renovated.
Yeah, that's
So
beautiful.
Rayos actually commissioned us, or commissioned Get Up, Get Down, to paint a new mural there. So that will be unveiled in the spring.
In the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And will it be completed in the spring, or is it something that might go through the summer? The
No,
work on
it will definitely be
It'll
done
be
this school
completed.
year. Yes.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll look forward to that. And also, I know you have an open mic night coming up and an ice cream social, Katie. Is that here in
Yes.
Amherst?
That is here in Amherst. It's more just for the Youth Action Coalition community. That was one of the YAC Unity events. Sorry, just lost words there that I was talking about earlier. So it is more for the YAC community, but it will be in town at the Universal Unitarian Church.
Okay. So as people wander around downtown Amherst or have the opportunity to get into the high school to see all this great artwork, I would highly suggest doing that, getting in touch with you, and really becoming supporters of the Youth Action Coalition in the Pioneer Valley, especially here in Amherst. I know you're having a big fundraiser in March.
Yes. We're planning a live and silent auction event. It's going to be at the Eastworks building in East Hampton.
Okay.
And it's open to everybody. And it'll be a really fun event with food and programming, really trying to show an example of what we do at YAC. There'll be an exhibit, there'll be artwork for sale, and lots of things for sale or through auction. And what we usually do at our events is have some way that each program is representing what they do. So we'll probably, it's still all in the planning stages, have some kind of art making area as well as just a place to watch and learn and listen and talk to everybody that's involved.
Meet the young artists.
Yes, exactly. And we also invite anyone in the community to make donations to us. It's end of the year. It's a great time to help out your local nonprofits. And especially as I'm learning, they want to change the tax structure to eliminate the support for public charity giving by individuals. So the more people can give, the better.
And not just money, but also supplies, paint, brushes,
Yes.
video cameras, I'm
Yes.
assuming, and-
We do have a list of a wish list on our website as well. So,
Okay, so
and if anybody has anything in the photo, video, or art arena, they can contact us and we'll let them know if it's something we could use.
well, that'd be great. That'd be great. We have a very generous community and a community that really supports the arts and our youth. So I want to thank you both for joining me today on
Thank you.
Voices
Thank
from
you.
Our Schools. I wish you nothing but success in the next year, and I look forward to the art installation unveiling at Rayos. That's going to be really exciting.
Thank you.
And I want to thank all of you for tuning in to Voices from Our Schools today. Again, thank you for watching. I'm your host, Kimberly Stender, and I hope you have a great day.